It's a fartless intro. Sorry to disappoint you guys. And yes, we are in, can I use this?
Yeah.
The bunker, ladies and gentlemen, with, get ready. I love this thing. It's the best $5 I've ever spent in my life. Tactical Doodle. Did we get you?
I tried to make it look real authentic too.
Were you moving at all?
No.
I think I moved just a little bit. I was like,
Perfect.
they're like typing furiously right now. You didn't fake me out for 2 seconds.
It's gotten me.
I have fooled you before. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, occasionally over the past, I don't know, 10 or so years, I'll do a tabletop and I will just freeze and stop talking just to jack with you guys. It's fun. It's fun. And this video is going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a riot. This might be your favorite, your new favorite Nutnfancy video ever. At least for the gun guys. Do you think that's an overstatement?
Oh yeah. This is answering a lot of questions just in one video.
One video. Why do we take 10 years to make this?
In all fairness, I mean, we kind of did put all this stuff out. It was just spread out over a couple
That's true.
videos.
So if we talk about philosophy of use, the
Yeah.
gun reviews over the past 10 or so years, the philosophy that we're going to say here and condense in one video, it's out there.
Well, and
Good
aren't
point. Good
all
point.
the firearms videos kind of what gun should I buy?
Yes, they are, and there's actually a philosophy that weaves through always and is fairly consistent. Actually, very consistent throughout the years.
Yeah, it's in the Nutnfancy cinematic universe.
That's right. First things first, this right here is actually my dad's OV-10 helmet. I've never shown it on camera, but now that we have the cool thing called the bunker, here is Dad's call sign Sticks, his OV-10 helmet. I put the tape on, he didn't have that, and it's getting brittle. I was just cleaning the oxygen mask and part of it snapped. Oh. And check this out. The cool thing about this is also my own Air Force helmet. I flew in T-38 Talons in Minot, North Dakota when I was stationed up there. I had it from Dad and I walked it into my life support shop and I said, hey guys, can you bring this up to code so I can actually fly with my dad's helmet? And I thought I saw a tear roll down his cheek when I requested it because he was so happy. I'm not kidding, by the way. He was really, really stoked to do it. He's like, that's your dad's helmet? And I was like, yeah, can you bring it up to code so I can actually plug it in and use it? And this is back in the early 90s before it was all brittle, and I flew with it. So I flew multiple sorties in a T-38 Talon, a plane my dad named, incidentally. His grandfather named, and there you go. This is, I just have like a zinc call sign on the back, and I just threw that on there in probably 1980. It's been there ever since. So here you go. In the bunker, cool stuff in the background. You got a freaking vintage Nutnfancy Clan jet pilot helmet too. That's pretty cool.
I wore it once when I flew a 152.
Yeah.
So that was probably the coolest thing it ever got to be part of.
Growing up, and actually perhaps beyond that, I used to put this helmet on and play computer games, pretending I was a jet pilot. Funny how that works. Funny how that works. Okay, so we did intro with silly stuff. We're known for that. This is an entertainment video, first and foremost. True or false?
Totally.
This is going to be our information, our take, our experience, how I raised him. He is my son. How I raised my other boy, last suspect. And we're going to help you spend your money wisely. And you saw the title. I got to use a megaphone. It is called The First Guns You Should Buy. Ooh, I like that title. Do you like it?
Yeah.
It says it all. The first guns you should buy. I realize, TD realizes that a lot of you guys have a ton of guns already. So you're coming into this video and you're already kind of set. Maybe you're well on your way to getting what you might call your personal family arsenal, whatever. We get that, but also we get new people bouncing into the project all the time, finding the TMP content for the very first time. So our approach to this video is actually for that individual who's money limited. That is foundational to this video. You don't have a ton of money. You can't just go out and buy everything you want. We realize that. And then also, this is also a very important part of the foundation, focuses on self-defense. Okay, so focuses on being prepared for without rule of law. Those are the two key factors or foundational concepts for this video. The reason we say that, because we're going to go in priority of how we think you should spend your money. And if you're organized in that spending, you're going to get prepared the way you want to be prepared. We feel, having seen comments, talked to thousands upon thousands of people, TMPers throughout the last decade or so, we feel a lot of guys get distracted. TD?
Oh, tons.
So they'll go out and buy something, and then they see something bright and shiny, then they go out and buy that. Oh, that's not what I wanted. They sell it. They lose a lot of money in the process. Then they get to modding one gun, but they have all these other holes in their system that aren't filled.
Yeah. Or they buy some weird weapon with like a unique mag system, so they have this orphan platform, and then the thing's out of production, and then they're stuck with this bizarro. Instead of just planning ahead and building a system from the ground up that works and is scalable and affordable.
I'm going to put my shades on, man. I feel like I'm in the Inquisition here. Week rocking the shades, ready for the Oscars, whatever. You said an important word that I really like, and that is plan. So that's really what we're talking about, is you sit down and you make a plan. What are the first guns you should buy according to us? And no doubt there's probably a ton of videos out there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Similar to this.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't watch any of them, didn't look at any of them. And we were just sitting around last night fondling guns, strangely enough. True or false?
Yep.
And I said, you know what? It's funny how our gun buying has progressed. And what we're going to tell you is an exact mirror or historical record of what we've done, of what I've done with the kids. Of this is the first gun I want, this is the second thing I want in my system, and this is what we've done. Now, we have a little bit of strangeness in my own family because I'm a reviewer. So that adds, adds a lot of cool stuff, really, but adds a lot of complexity. So the things I would get for the Nutnfancy project may or may not be in line with what I'm going to tell you now. They're a lot more aggressive. So we'd go out and get this gun, that gun. We're kind of the shotgun approach, and we're getting all these cool things to bring to you as content. But we're going to pare it back. We're going to step back, condense it, and talk about the first gun that you should get. And we're going to start off with number one, TD. Do you remember when I took you out on the cold plains of North Dakota? You were about, you were 2.5 years old. Do you remember that? Okay, if you were to remember it, you know the photo though. I've taken a photo, and I'll try to roll it in here. The first gun may surprise you that we in TMP say you should buy, and that is, TD, hit it.
22 pistol.
22 pistol should be the first gun you buy. What? Nutnfancy, you have gone off the rails. Why should I buy a 22 pistol as my very, very first gun? Because why buy any guns at all if you do not know how to shoot? Chances are you have a young family, maybe some young kids, maybe they're 2.5 years old as well, and they're starting their journey along learning how to shoot. You're learning how to shoot. I think a 22 pistol, for the low cost that you'll spend on that firearm, will serve you the rest of your life. It will serve your family the rest of their lives. Low recoil, cheap to shoot, accurate, fun, engaging, yes. It should be your first gun. Who else will say that here on FaceTube? How about nobody?
PPQ.
Any thoughts on that?
22.
It's a good starter. And it helps you dip your toe in and make sure you actually do like firearms, so you're not dropping a ton of money on something on the off chance that, maybe you don't like it. Maybe you buy a pistol and then you're like, you shoot it once, twice, and the next thing you know, like 4 years have gone by and you're like, oh yeah, I haven't shot in a while.
And also you can test the types of guns. So we're showing you semi-automatic 22 pistols, our preference. Maybe you go with the 22 revolver, like the 617 Smith & Wesson.
The single six,
and you just experiment. So TD brings up the point that you're really in an experimental phase. You're also in a growth phase with a 22 pistol. You're learning how to shoot. You're learning the mechanics of shooting, trigger control, breath control, and you're not going broke. Now, that's exactly what we did. So at least when my kids came along. Before the kids came along, I will say I had 9mm for sure. But I also had 22 pistols the entire time. The pistol, hold up the one you were raised on.
This one?
No, this one right here, bro. That one. Show them that. So this is our original 2245. Here, you hold it. Right here. Chief AJ modified. Super, super excellent gun. I bought this like in 1990. Better late than never. So back in 1990, and then I modded it out at Chief AJ's Tribal Workshop many years later. I've talked about it, shown it a lot on camera. This is the gun that was foundational. So my point in showing you this gun is to say, this is what I train my kids on, this 22 pistol. And this is what I practiced on all the time. Because the mechanics you'll learn on your 22 pistol will transfer to what?
Every other pistol.
Every other pistol you shoot. 22 pistol. Which one to get? Hey, dig into my 22 playlist because I've reviewed this gun, the 2245, this gun right here, the Browning, this one, the UDX. So we have a Buckmark UDX. Awesome, awesome gun. For the money you're spending, again, super high value. This should be, in our opinion, the first gun you should buy. Also, guess who you're going to take along for the ride? We talked about the kids. How about the wife? Or if you're a girl, how about the boyfriend? Or husband. So it's a family affair, right? It's really fun to go out shooting 22s. Again, won't break the bank. That's your first priority, says us. Now, you may say, hey, I hate 22s. I don't have a need for them. I can bypass that. But if you're coming to us in the bunker, that's where we're going to send you. Now, remember foundationally what we said. That foundationally, we're talking about a self-defense preparedness focus for the firearm ownership, right? So there's a lot of other ways you could say, hey, which gun should I buy first? If you're, running the competition circuit, if you're a collector, if you're just shooting recreationally, if you're a hunter, you would probably reverse the list or the numbers that we're going to give you. What do you think?
They probably would, just to hit the ground running. But I still think developing on 22 and then moving up in caliber is the way to go. Also, you could actually put these into a home defense role. There's lots and lots of people that have defended their homes with 22s. And if you have one that has a rail on it, so here we have a Packlight upper on a 2245, all modified by us, shown. We still have this one. You could put a light on here. Light laser combination. 22 is not the best caliber. I've said that a lot, but it's something. Until you get some more money, it beats nothing. So that's the number one thing, a 22 pistol, and that takes us to number 2. What do you think it would be? What do you think they will think it will be? The second gun they should buy. They're looking at the guns in the background, which, by the way, is a great selection. Of course, it would be a precision long rifle.
That would be incorrect. Keep shooting. They're going to say AR-15.
Pistol caliber carbine? Yeah.
That's still incorrect. The next gun, after your 22 pistol selection, and we've shown you a couple. Oh, did we show you that one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I gave that to him as a Christmas present about 15 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe longer than that. Long time ago. 20 years ago. The next gun you should buy, in our opinion, that's all it is. Our opinion is a 9mm semi-automatic pistol. Yes. Does that surprise you? I bet you a lot of people it will. Because they'll go, what? A pistol? Why wouldn't I go with a long arm first? Remember the focus. Excuse me. And the focus is as follows. Self-defense. What range do you think that's going to happen at? Tactical Doodle.
Pretty close.
Give me a distance. Statistically, there's a lot of data out there.
Not even a couple yards most of the time.
Let's say 3 feet. That's the answer. Because if you're really going to prepare for without rule of law or something along those lines, self-defense, what we say you should get is a 9mm. If you don't have a ton of money, high value pistol. We're going to show you a couple options right here. We've talked about tons of them over the years. Integrate into your systems. Boom. That will cover, I think, to be totally honest, about 90% of any self-defense encounters you would have. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Am I making that up? Am I exaggerating it all? Again, this is just opinion. What do you think?
I think you'll get your dollar's worth defensively out of a pistol more than any other firearm in the inventory.
Yes, go with a pistol. And get this. And we're going to actually break this down into 2 parts. So you're going to get a 9mm pistol, and maybe you ask us right now, what do I get? Do I get a subcompact, a Glock 43, a SIG P365, a Smith & Wesson Shield? Or do I go with a GTW, as I've always called it, a go-to-war option, which is a full-size pistol? Tactical Doodle, what would you do first? You're a new guy starting out. You don't have a ton of money. Which type of 9mm pistol would you recommend they buy first?
We've seen this happen a bunch with just my friends over the last maybe 10 years or so. Guys that went from having nothing that wanted to get into it. And usually, I'd recommend a Glock 19 or a Glock 26.
Good choice. Really good choice. Because what he's chosen and what he's saying, and I actually agree with this, is you're actually going for an intermediate style pistol. So you're not going really subcompact, something tiny like a G43. You're not going full size, Glock 17 or maybe a VP9. But I think those are so lightweight and easy to carry. You know, it's a small difference between that and a 19, says me. Then you have the Glock 48 single stack coming out right now. What I would say is that would be an outstanding choice. Glock 19, ladies and gentlemen. Quintessential choice. Glock 19. Glock 19, yes, Nutnfancy, I love that gun. But where's your Glock 19X review? Actually, I've done many reviews on tabletop forum of the Glock 19X, but not here in the bunker. Should I?
Yeah.
Super quick review?
Yeah, a quick one.
Okay, cool.
Real quick.
Okay, super quick.
All right.
Cue some music, dude.
Dun, 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 dun. Mini review
of the Glock 19X. All right, Glock 19X has a Glock 19 slide, has the grip frame of a Glock 17, and my overall take on this gun is don't buy it. End of review.
Dun, 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 dun. Mini review.
Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, I'm not saying it's horrible. I just wouldn't buy one.
If I wanted one, I would rather buy a 17 and a 19.
Exactly. Why would I go with a shorter slides, shorter sight radius, more, well, you get the picture. It's going to become a long review if I keep talking.
Yeah.
But a perfect pistol of what we're talking about. I'll just call it a hybrid pistol. So it's not super compact. It's not super large. Glock 19. Another example would be, oh, show them that one right there. That's good. And this is hot coming out of a system. Dudes. Oh, yeah. CZ P10C. Nutnfancy, you magnificent bastard. You weren't seeing that coming, were you? That's the FDE model, and we love this gun, the P10C. Had a few teething problems early on, but it's chugging away. They're selling great. I think it's a great competitor to the Glock 19, and I think it's a great first choice for a semi-automatic 9mm pistol in our list. So this gun is small enough, just like the Glock 19, to carry, take everywhere, just about. Holds a good amount of rounds. It has a rail. You can identify the bad guys with it. It's durable. It will last longer than you will. It's supremely accurate. Both of these guns are. Dudes, get a Glock 19 already. Get a CZ P10C already. Or, for that matter, if you want to go value, get a Steyr M9A1 already.
Und Steyr?
Steyr!
Steyr!
Steyr! Steyr!
Steyr!
Steyr! Yes, we actually do this stuff all the time. The bunker's actually kind of like drawn all this stuff out. You're going to see stuff in the bunker that I've hidden from you guys forever. We do this off camera all the time. But yeah, seriously, 9mm pistol is your number 2 purchase. Hey, Nutnfancy, could I get a 40? Could I get a 45? I inherited a 40 cal. The answer is yes to all of the above. I'm sticking with 9 because I'm assuming you're buying, and that I'm assuming, again, you don't have a lot of money. 9mm is efficient and cost effective.
19 or 26 for me would definitely be the first.
26
probably
another
the biggest,
great option.
Biggest thing in favor of the Glocks is magazine commonality. When you're pressed for money, you can build a storage of magazines with spares that'll likely fit a couple different things down the road if you want to choose that thing. It's tougher to make some of these other things run double duty. Whereas if you were to get a 26, you could get 33 rounders. That's awesome.
You bring up a very good point. It's going to dovetail into another number in our list that's coming up. And that is, when you buy this first pistol, what you're really doing is establishing a system. What do you know? There's that word again. That I've used in TMP forever. Always think in terms of systems. So he's saying you get a Glock. Guess what? You just bought into a Glock system. Do you want to have, 5 different pistols, 5 different magazines? and maybe you're fighting alongside of people that are fighting with that other weapon system, you cannot just throw them a mat. Is that smart? Now, as a reviewer, we have to live with all these different systems. That's what we do. We don't like it, do we?
It sucks.
We don't like it. It's complex. It takes a ton of organization, a ton of money, really, because we got to buy at least, we'll say this again, 4 mags per pistol for just testing and review. So, but that's a great point, is when you buy into that first gun, not always, but sometimes you're establishing a system. If you get like, you know, an affordable gun, and we just reviewed, the P95. So that you'll see that video post, and you can get those used for like $175. $175. So I wouldn't say, hey, that's my first gun I bought, and that's going to be my system. It's going to be a Ruger P Series system. I'm not saying that. To me, that's a different philosophy of use. That's a starter gun, maybe a burner gun, if you will, that you don't mind it going into a system where it gets thrashed. I'm saying for your core, a lot of thought put into it. Buy wisely. But get a 9mm pistol as a number 2 gun. Boom! I love that one. For me, I love the Glock 19 one. I wouldn't mind getting a full size. I like full size. Here is the awesome PPQ long slide. Oh, dudes, look at that sucker. This is Duracoated by guess who? Him right there, right there. So I like this. I mean, if you were to ask me, hey, should I go full size? I'd say yeah, go full size. Unless you decide that money's super tight, and with this first 9mm pistol, you're also going to carry.
That's my thing. My pick is based on carrying being probably 80% of the use you'd get out of it. That most of its time being used as a defensive pistol is spent traveling around with you. Good point. In that case, I could not hide something like this on my body.
Good point. I like it.
My shirt size is maybe medium. So, I mean, this
and you're getting use out of it right out the gate.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
I can't hide it.
For me, it works better, but he's a munchkin and I'm not. His mother is 3 foot tall, and I'm 8 foot tall, so it's kind of a weird mix.
She's now 4'9", I think.
Is she? That's cool. Those pills have been working.
Yeah.
So a Glock 26 is actually a great choice. Anything along those lines. I think the Glock 43 could work. You might think about the accessory rail. Moving on. Number 3. What do you think you're going to say for number 3? So we did 22 pistol, 9mm pistol, and then the number 3 gun you should buy is...
Starts with an A and rhymes with Arasaka.
No, it doesn't. Here, megaphone it out. Tell him.
It's not the Arasaka?
No, he's jacking with you guys. We're going to talk about that, by the way. The 3rd gun that you should buy on your list is...
AR-15.
Boom!
I was close.
AR-15.
I was like just right there.
You're just jacking around with him. That's pretty funny. Arasaka. No. By the way, we're going to circle back and talk about that, and it is actually on our list. Not necessarily that gun, but guns like it and of that ilk. Yes, an AR-15 should be your next gun. Assuming, of course, you live in a free state, right? How about that one right there?
Oh, yeah.
A free state. Dudes, grab an AR already, and here comes, by the way, by request, this is the Gemtech GMT, Halo GMT. Is that what that is?
I can't.
Goes on an A2 flash suppressor, and that's a 7.5-inch AR-15 pistol. We like it in the bunker because you can see it readily. By the way, what watch do you have on? That's a cool watch.
This is one of the AV8.
AV8!
I really
Hawker
like
Hurricane 2 in olive drab, and I'm rocking, check this out. One of the watches is a ISO Bright T100 Valor with an orange Zulu strap. It did not come with a strap. It is very bright, 4 times brighter, they say, than a Luminox.
Ooh.
And I'm actually going Schwarzenegger, not by choice, actually. It's kind of an accident. I've got a Sunto core right here, dudes. Review coming up. Watch the watch show. I love watches. They're fun. Oh, AR-15. Yeah, get an AR-15. That should be your next purchase. But Nutnfancy, I live in California. What do I get then?
A house outside of California. No, it's a great place to live.
There are some other non-AR options that you should dig into our playlist to get the answer to that question.
Yeah. Troy PAR.
The Troy PAR is a good option right there.
The Troiper.
Pump action AR-15. So there's some options out there, but for the rest of you living in a free state, get a freaking AR-15. Hey, Nutnfancy, what if I want an AK? I love AKs. I run them better than an AR. Then get an AK. I mean, what's in the background right here, dudes? AK 545. We love this gun. You could easily base your defensive carbine system on an AK. And by the way, that's what we're talking about. So step 3 is getting your defensive carbine. I say just get an AR-15 already. Whatever flavor you want. Now, I'm holding up a 7.5-inch AR-15 pistol for y'all. Don't take that to mean that should be your first choice. I think ballistically, you're at a big disadvantage. And unless you're running a can on it, I think you're going to be miserable shooting that thing. Ton of blast, ton of recoil, less velocity. Are they cool? Absolutely. But is it my go-to AR-15? No. What you should get is just a 16-inch barreled AR. Either roll your own or go buy a ready-made. Here comes one of ours. This is a BCM enhanced lightweight. I've told you all about that. It's BCM handguard, really nice trigger on AR gold trigger, MFT components, and then I have a value scope on it, which is going to drive to another point we're going to talk here. Okay, so you're going to get an AR-15. What does that do for you? We'll get to the accessories here in a second. It is America's rifle.
It is the most versatile rifle probably ever made. In terms of versatility, the modularity, what you can do. And sometimes we forget how really kind of awesome it is that we could slap together a pretty good AR in our basement, and that it's not a huge gunsmithing project. It's not something that is really all that difficult to do because so many parts are made to such close tolerances.
The parts nowadays are so good. It's such a simple process. Everybody's doing it. I think Allie, before she passed on, built an SPR, and it shot pretty good.
Yeah.
That was our mountain dog. Oh, I miss Allie. Sweet dog. She was fun to shoot with, by the way. I like shooting with her. She was fun. She always used to bark and growl, and she's like out shooting me. He's like, I got you. I was like, jeez. Yeah, but ARs are outstanding. Modularity. Get whatever caliber. I still recommend 5.56.
Yeah.
Let's get 5.56. You want it to shoot longer? Go 75, 77 grainers. I've said this over and over again. About all the other calibers, hey, I like them too. 6.8, 300 black, they're cool. But I think for most of what you guys are going to be doing, 5.56 will work just fine. You're not going to be engaging out to 300 yards with these things. It's probably going to be inside of 50 if you have to use them in that sort of self-defense role. I hope you never do, by the way. Run away. I need to use the megaphone. Run away with your AR. Yeah. So don't get carried away by all the nonsense you see on the web. It's a bunch of crap. It's going to be inside of 50 yards. The reason we would go with an AR, though, in this defensive philosophy of use, assuming you're in agreement with that, is because it hits harder, it has more obstacle penetration, has some anti-armor capability, and it's just a more potent way to defend your life and your loved one's life. TD.
It's so cost effective, really, for what you're able to do and what you're able to get in terms of just even the base ARs on the market. The prices on them, they just blow me away every time I see them.
Yep.
Maybe it's because I grew up around nothing but Colt ARs going for, what were they back in the day, like $2,000 or something?
Nah,
crazy?
not that much. I mean, Colts were always pretty solid. I wouldn't say they weren't awesome, but I mean, it really took off. Probably the AR-15 market, I think, from probably 06 on, really started picking up. And I don't know, making big strides and more availability, more accessibility for a wide variety of people. So on the number 3 thing you should get on your list would be an AR-15. Again, if you want to go with a Mini 14, pick that up and show them that. Do a Mini 14. Yeah, it's not that accurate. But again, remember the distance that we're saying, and it's just an opinion, that you'd be using this gun at inside of 50 yards. So does it really matter? Nope. We don't have the modularity with a lot of these guns, like the Mini. We don't have the accuracy. But dang, they work, and they've always worked. And they're fun. They have a second cool. I'm going to talk more about that on the Mini 14. This has a Checkmate muzzle device on it. I love that Checkmate. It's just so sick. Get a Mini 14. So we're talking getting a tactical carbine, whatever turns you on. And maybe you're able to get a super deal on a certain carbine. But remember what we said about systems. So if you're going to get a Mini 14, guess what? That's your system. Raise your hand in the bunker, by the way, if the Mini 14 was your primary tactical carbine for over a decade.
Had we made this
Right
video
here.
10... No, a little bit more
Mini
than
14.
That was it. That was the 223 defensive carbine.
Forever. I mean, I've shown you photos of it, of the Nutnfancy clan armory, and what's front and center? The Mini 14. So when he's a little baby, the Mini 14 was pulling duty, and that's the way I think of it. It was actually in service as a family defensive gun without rule of law gun, and the Mini 14 was my system. So that meant I had to have Mini 14 spare parts, I had to have Mini 14 magazines, maybe some slings, optics for the Mini 14.
Push it forward. There you
And there
go.
we went. And I went forever with that system, and I've said it in my mini review, and you'll hear it again and again.
There you go.
I think it's fun. You know, am I going to shoot 1 MOA at it, 100 yards? Nope. 2 MOA? Probably not. 3 MOA if I'm lucky. But does it really, really matter when we get down to brass tacks?
Gun. Still.
Probably not.
Stop.
It's a lot cheaper than
5 rounds.
buying
Good
an
breath
AR
control,
if you're
Mini
going to go
14.
full auto someday.
That's
AC
correct.
556s are still affordable.
No, they're not.
Someone
All
said
right.
that once. They said, hey, you should check out the AC 556. They're so affordable. And I looked it
That's
up. And
odd. And off the wall comment that
I know.
you read it and you go, where in the heck did that guy get that idea? Welcome to the internet.
it's like the affordable Ferrari, I guess.
Let's review though. 22 pistol, 9mm pistol, AR-15. Okay, now we're going to take a break though. You would think we'd go to number 4, right? You'd go, what's number 4, Nutnfancy? We'll get to it, but we're not going there right yet. And there's a reason for that. Because once you get those 3 things done, says us, take a break. Just breathe out. And check this out. We forgot to say it. We're going to say it here. When you get these three guns, don't mod them. Leave them in the form they got. Why? Because we said at the outset, you do not have a lot of money. Remember what we said in the intro? That a lot of guys get it and they're like, I'm going to mod it, I'm going to mod it. And they spend like $600 on an AR, $800 on a Glock 19 modding out. Don't. Relax. Remember, you're getting a system. You're dialing into this video because you want our opinion on systems. That's what we're giving you. Straight, true, no BS, no TPA. Don't. Once you get your AR-15, then you need to start building up those systems. And then you might modify them for better, I'm from the military, retired lieutenant colonel, I'll speak military, better mission effectiveness. Okay, so let's say you get a rack stock M&P 15 Sporter 2.
It's a good pick.
Great rifle. And you just leave the standard pistol grip on there, the A2, the polymer forend. You just rock that. And you just rock irons. And then when you get to step 3, you bought your AR-15, guess what you can do now?
Buy a Nambu.
OTD, you're so fun. No, not a Nambu.
You buy a Luger.
Yeah, that's it. You buy a Luger. No, you get a basic optic. And when I say basic optic, I mean basic. Don't go out and buy a $2,000 scope. Don't listen to the interweb. There's a bunch of horse shit on the internet about what you get. No, get something basic. Where's our AR? Pull that one up again. Is that?
Wait, it's on
I
your
have it
side.
right here. So this is a very high-end AR-15 that I built. However, look at what's on this AR. It's a Weaver Caspa scope. And what's the price on that? Can you read it? Like $175?
$200.
And dude, that's an illuminated scope. I have a video coming out separately of just a couple of my top recommended optics broken into 3 categories: low price, medium price, higher priced. Go watch it. This is a great option. So this would be a good scope to put on to begin with. And it's not a true 1 power. It's like a 1.5 to 6 or something like that, but it's illuminated. It's not too heavy. It comes in FDE and it's a good scope. You could have bought this scope 10 years ago. This type of optic was not being made. But now we've got the top 3 done. You've got your AR. Now it's time to put on some optics and a good mount. Don't go crazy. Along with that, you know, do I need to make it look like a race gun and make it look like a competitor's gun? Obviously, it's up to you what you're going to spend and what you're going to mod. What we're saying here is you have other things that demand your dollars, like, what else do we need for our gun? We've got optic. What else do we need?
Ammo.
Ammo! You need ammo for your gun. So when we went to step 1, 2, and 3, I say as you go along, get like 200, 300, 500 rounds per gun, call it good. When you get step 3 done, your your AR-15, then start getting some depth to your system. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised at how many people I've just known and shot with over the years where they show up to a shoot and they bring 200 rounds of ammo. I'm like, why didn't you bring more? And they said, this is all I own, which is weird. because that's like having an eighth of a tank of gas in your car.
Right. So you go out and you buy a Ferrari and you're like, man, I'd really like to drive it, but I got no gas.
I can only drive 80 miles. Well, worst case scenario, I'll just have to stretch it.
Yeah. So get ammunition. How much is highly up to debate. What we would say is 2,000 rounds per gun. Would you agree with that?
It's a good
That's
mark.
a starting point. 2,000 rounds of 22, 2,000 rounds of 9mm, 2,000 rounds of AR ammo stored up, because now you have a system. And again, modifications to those guns that came previously, as you see fit, be super smart. Don't go crazy, because you have a lot of things demanding your money. And check this out. Once you've got those top 3 done, 22 pistol, 9mm pistol, AR-15 pistol, and I'm assuming it's a small family. Man, woman, 1 kid, maybe 2 kids. You could actually stop there. Do you agree?
Yeah.
You could. You could just say, hey, I got the basics covered right now, and then later on, when I get a bigger house, more space, a better job with more money, then I'll add to it. But you could actually stop there. So which guns should you buy first? Those top 3, in our opinion, and actually having traveled this road ourselves with him as I raised him up to the wonderful young man you see now, that's what we did. That's what we did. But no, the list is not complete. So next we go to number 4, which is Nambu. No, just kidding.
Beat me to it.
You like that? Were you going to say the Nambu?
I was.
We're actually still getting to that. Hold on. This is a feature-length, video here in the bunker. Pretty fun, actually. We got some cool new stuff in the background, by the way.
All kinds of cool stuff.
Got an M134 sitting up there, 1/6 scale. Boom! Totally. After an AR-15, again, this is just our opinion. That's all it is. What you could get next, adding to your system and adding more capabilities with that defensive mindset is not a Luger, a shotgun. Boom. Now, a lot of people might say, what? You put shotgun at number 4? Yeah, we did. Because I think, for the reason we've been talking about here in the bunker, you should wait. I love the shotgun. It's super versatile. It serves a lot of different philosophies of use for sure. But I think you can wait on it. It's a special purpose weapon. And I've said this in all my tabletop reviews. I've taken you out in the desert, shown it. To shoot a shotgun, a 12 gauge, well, with full power loads, slugs, buckshot, TD, how easy is it?
It is not as easy as people like to think.
They make it sound like, oh, it's a piece of cake. Pretty much all the shotgun reviews you see here on YouTube are probably shooting mostly, not all, mostly birdshot. When you upgun and you man up to buckshot, especially 3-inch double-aught buckshot, and you're trying to shoot under pressure and be accurate with it, yeah, I want to be there watching, because I've taken a lot of dudes out in the desert and they miss like crazy, and they're experienced shooters. You have to man up. It is a special skill set. So to put that higher in the list makes no sense. Does it have a ton of knockdown power? Yes. Is it effective? Yes. Is it versatile? Absolutely, all of the above. But it's not what everybody says, that, oh, it should be my first choice. No doubt a lot of people have made it their first choice for a home defense weapon.
Yeah, over the years, I've learned that the art of the pump shotgun is not nearly as easy as everyone likes to pretend it is.
Correct.
It's like saying, oh yeah, dude, a 6-minute mile is very doable.
Right.
People run it all the time.
Yeah.
People do, but
in reality, dudes. So here's our Winchester 1300. And again, we're showing you guns to prove the point that we have traveled this road. So when you look at this Winchester 1300, long discontinued shotgun, sadly, this is the Turkey Special. It has a speed loader bracket on the bottom for a speed loader. Has that beautiful green laminate stock, has a ventilated 20-inch barrel. Does this look like a tactical shotgun to you? This is a hunting shotgun.
It's a turkey gun.
Getting back to the versatility of the shotgun. When I bought this, I was actually planning on turkey hunting in the state of Washington.
Turkey!
And then secondarily, I was like, well, this would be a pretty badass defensive shotgun if I can buy an extended tube for it. So what did I do? Put an extended tube on it. Now look at this Mo. I haven't changed it since. It's so bad, as in good, and just mean. It's a mean pump shotgun. The 1300 is like a manually operated semi-automatic shotgun. It is just so insane. I love it. I've got a ventilated rib on top. I got a ton of rounds. This is like a 9+1. Which for a pump shotgun, that's almost like competitor 3-gun round.
Yeah.
They have like ridiculous extended tubes now. But for an overall combat shotgun, this is it. But it's also versatile. So when we go to number 4 and we say, hey, buy a shotgun, we're not just focusing on that defensive philosophy of use. We're also saying,
turkey.
you go get turkey with it, like Swanson dinner. Turkey.
I don't know. I just like saying it that way. Turkey.
You can go get some turkey. How about ducks? Do you have a duck thing?
I don't think it works.
Duck.
Duck.
You can go hunting with it. That's our point. You can go trap shooting, skeet shooting, blowing water jugs up, just having a good time with it. So that's a different take. Along the way, you've bought either an 870, a Winchester 1300, a Mossberg 590, which is coming right here. That's a 590. Cerakoted, by the way, awesome. And Magpul FDE by, guess who? Tactical Doodle. That has wearing all our Magpul modifications on it. And then you've got an all-arounder. Again, all types of different loads, buckshot. You can do like Sabo rounds on it for longer distance. Just a great platform. But again, it takes skill, it takes practice. And also, if you go on foot, this is another reason it's lower down on the list. Are you going to carry 200 rounds of 3-inch double-aught buckshot with you? No, it's pretty much a static defense weapon, the shotgun. I'm sorry, it just is. Anybody who says otherwise is full of crap. So that's why it's lower down on the list. But it is on the list. And it is, I would say it's not like super high, but number 4 isn't bad.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
What's the best purchase when you buy a pump shotgun? Let's say you want to get into the zen of the pump shotgun.
And you're just concentrating on pumps. We're going to show you an auto here.
Yeah.
Did I bring
I'm
an
just
auto?
saying.
I don't know if I have an auto.
Oh, we did.
Here. Oh, by the way, this is a Winchester. I took it down. Here it is. Here's a Mossberg 500 with a Sidewinder magazine conversion on it. It's been hanging out in the background. So here's another one. Now, again, I talked about modifications. It's not like, I'm going to go buy a 500, then I'm going to put a magazine conversion, or I'm just right out the gate going to get a magazine-capable 870 or 590, which you could, and I think some of them are better than others. I would probably go what I know now, the Remington product. You could, but we modified this late in the game. So this wasn't something we did in the 1990s. This wasn't available then.
Yeah.
But nowadays, this is a great option. And I can reconvert this back to a regular 500 configuration, and it's just a 5-round tube. So now it's it's just standard configuration, but if I want to go with a 10-round box magazine, boom, ready for without rule of law. That is a commanding weapon. And by the way, we tested this, and it was functioning. It worked. It worked good. Shotgun is the number 4 choice. Do you have anything to add to that? Am I off base?
No, I was just going to say, best thing you can buy if you decide to go pump is snap caps.
Oh, tell him about that. And by the way, he does that all the time.
It's the best way to get into the groove of loading and working and running and just getting the muscle memory of racking it all the way back. I know everyone always makes fun of me when I say, hey, running pump shotguns is hard, but every time I've shot with someone, generally more novice shooters, it's tough for them.
And I've been around when they said, hey, I've watched your technique and you're not pumping it hard enough.
Yeah.
And by the way, they were not talking about your shotgunning skills. But yes, you need to practice. And if you were to see his like dummy rounds that he practices with, do you have them in there?
No.
They're so
burned.
worn. They're like burnished. Like all the anodizing is off because that's how you get good. But practice. Shotgunning is on the list. It's awesome. That's our number 4 choice. By the way, every gun we've shown you is a Hall of Famer.
I was going to say, this one has a bayonet lug.
I like it.
It's kind of cool.
I like it. It's an anti-protectionist feature, and it makes me happy. Okay, so number 5, moving along. In the bunker with tactical doodle is actually not a gun. It's not a gun. So you might think, oh, cool, what's he going to say next? Long range, whatever. No, number 5 is more depth. Remember we talked about that? More depth. Tell them what we mean by that.
I thought it would be a Red Ryder BB gun. I'm definitely not ready now.
More depth.
More depth. I would say first add a Red Ryder. It adds a lot of capability to your collection. No,
my goodness.
depth is when you start to look over your current status, and then you see where you want to go from there. You add capabilities, you add features, you add maybe
Other guns.
That's when you
depth.
start, hey, maybe I'll add a 19 or a 17 to my 26. Maybe I'll add, and this I will say, if you're looking at getting an AR and then you want to do the spare upper, just buy another AR.
Here, after you get your shotgun, then you can go, hey, I actually have 3 kids. I need to have more guns in the family. Like TD is saying, this is where you would add more depth. Another Glock, or whatever you've chosen. Maybe it's a SIG. Maybe it's a, I don't know, PPQ. But you get another one, and you add more depth and more guns. Also, you may or may not be in one location. You know, if you're thinking about self-defense without rule of law, maybe you need more guns to put in other locations. And this is where you do it, because you have the basics taken care of. Now it's time for more depth.
Yeah.
This is maybe where you get an AR pistol.
That's where,
Because it is system compliant.
Yeah.
You have an AR-15 already. It uses all the same components, but now you're saying, hey, I need a philosophy of use of a super compact gun. I'm going to go with an AR pistol, or freaking A, man. Just get this.
beautiful.
I love this. Mini Draco. This is our modded Mini Draco.
That's one of the best,
Love it.
best purchases I've ever made of a gun.
Yeah, it's pretty excellent. And I have a sound forward muzzle device on it at this time. Go to Patreon, by the way, and you'll see me shooting in the desert with a can on this sucker. I was kind of worried about some baffle strikes, to be honest with you. Don't know if I'll come out with that for the A channel. And by the way, thanks to all TMP Patreon dudes. Love you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a reason we have this bunker, actually, doing it for you. Yeah, there you go. Now, it's an interesting point, though. So let's say you have an AR-15. Go, oh, man, I really like Nutnfancy's Draco review. I'm going to go out and buy a Draco.
I still have.
You can do that, but is it system compliant with that AR-15 you bought in step 3? No.
Whole new caliber, whole new mag system, whole new weird Russian optics mounts.
Yeah, it's not, and you're the only one that can decide if that makes sense for you. So maybe in your way of thinking, hey, dude, I don't care, and I like, second cool is what I call it. We'll get to that, trust me. Keep it simple, keep it streamlined. You're just for now getting a defensive system as a United States, citizen is what you're doing. Right?
I would also
as a Minuteman.
Also
Watch
ask,
my
how
video
many
by
shooters do you have in your unit or family or whatever? Like if you have 2 adult, maybe you have like a kid that's old enough to be a shooter. Anyone who can really use any of the defensive stuff for home defense.
Correct.
I would really kind of look at a system. Do I have something tailored to each person? Like he and I have really different proportions. So optics and ARs that are set up for his eyes and his lanky old spider arms totally don't fit me at all. That's why you
Remember,
see
his
me
mother is
sometimes
3.5 feet tall.
gapping it out and trying to get it working.
Yeah, so get more depth, and then you can make it adaptable to each individual. Moving on, and by the way, this may become a 2-parter. I don't know if I can edit it together in one, but whatever. We may have a very awkward break, which I always relish, actually. It's kind of funny. Like, there'll be a watch, all of a sudden, beep, video ends.
I don't
Like,
mind.
what?
Yeah.
Well, I try to make it one part if I can. Moving on. So that's number 5. More depth, more depth, more depth. That's up to you how you're going to do that. Number 5 is long range. Actually, sorry. Number 6. That's number 6. Notice how far down the list that is. Very, very far down the list. So long range in terms of defensive capability, actually, I'm just going to be totally honest with you guys, could be completely left off the list entirely. Tactical doodle.
Yeah.
Just be honest. Yeah, and I have a whole video out this, debunking the sniper fantasy. It's a bunch of crap. The guys think they're going to be on a hill controlling, as far as the eye can see, and they're going to be determining who lives and who dies. Come on. It's a bunch of crap. I mean, that's not what's going to happen. If you are, it's just flat out immoral. I'm sorry, it is. I have a huge problem with it. I've always said that. I enough said. Go watch the video. I'll throw a link to it either in the description or right here. TD.
Yeah, I've had that argument with people before, and they talk about, oh yeah, I'm doing this. If you're doing it for fun, if you're doing it for hunting, rock on, cool. Sometimes people have this idea that they're, going to gilly up if the grid goes down. Let's say you have extended like martial law or something.
Right.
You
and they're going to start deciding who lives and who dies.
How do you do that with someone who's, the 1,000 yards away? It's
Do you know who that person is? What their story is? Probably not.
It's a tough situation.
Now, that being said, there are, and I've said this before, just to be consistent, there are very limited circumstances where having that capability in your system could play. Very limited. And you're talking about good intelligence, you know what's going on, and you're working in a team or as a law enforcement officer and without rule of law, it could happen. I'm not saying it can't, but I'm saying the propensity to have it and like put it at the top of your defensive priorities is foolhardy. It's foolhardy. And beyond that, if I were to put my finger on any one of these weapon systems where guys pump more money into it, it would probably be long range. I rest my case.
Yeah.
Building this gun right now, this is a Nailer, Mistress of Dangerous Things. This is a 1,000-yard, 6.5 Creedmoor. It's 1/3 MOA capable. Awesome gun. It was our custom gun we came out with years ago. But to build that now, what, $5,000? That's without optics. Then you put on optics, then you're looking at $7,000 plus additional magazines. Plus, again, you want to store up all those rounds. What are you into it? $9,000 for a long-range capability? Put it down on your list. That's all we're saying. Listen to us. We have your best interests at heart. True or false?
Yeah.
We're trying to save you money. Okay? Our Tactical Doodle did say, hey, for second cool or for recreation or for sniper competitions, that is something completely different. And then I say rock on. Go ahead and integrate your long range, but you're not doing it for defensive. You're doing it as gameplay. Right? And then it makes a ton of sense. It's like, hey, man, I'm going to go out and do some, long range competitions, spend the money, have a great time. And that takes us to number 7. So, done with long range? Did you have anything else to add?
Well, long range is how I would kind of call this.
True.
But if we're talking like semi-auto 308s, that's a little bit
Sappers.
different.
Do I have one here? I
Yeah,
do.
there should be
I
one
do.
right there.
Here comes a Palmetto PA-10. I'm glad you said that, by the way. This is an awesome high-value AR-10. It's been reviewed in the bunker separately. Sadly, I was alone. Yeah. So this is a great option. I like how you said, extreme long range. I think long range could be said beyond 600 yards.
Yeah.
Definitely. But guess what? This gun can get it done. Which brings us to the point, do I need a sapper in my system, Nutnfancy? You sure have reviewed them a lot. You've kind of put them on as a priority. You have a whole playlist about them. And the answer is probably not. I'm just being honest with you. You probably don't. If you're going to maintain the 3 principles of this, defensive, you have limited money. I forgot the third one, but I'm sure it was important. Probably not. I have always said, and I will maintain, for my own approach to without rule of law, if we go into that ugly situation, I will arm up with a sapper. I will. I like the penetrating capability, the power of a 308. Definitely. It makes my ballistic computations much easier. Yes, if I have to range out to that far, we talked about that already, I would. But I wouldn't feel bad running 77s in an AR-15, would you? No. But you can get to the long-range competitions, so maybe you kill, 2 birds with 1 stone per se, and say, hey, I want to participate in some heavy metal competition, so I'm going to buy a high-value AR-10, and then secondarily, I'll use it for defensive purposes.
Awesome.
I say rock on. Now, some guys will say, well, is it okay to put an AR-10 in place of an AR-15 at step 3? I would probably say it's okay, if that's what you want. As long as you're doing it with your eyes open. Heavier ammunition, heavier magazines, bigger, harder to carry. Think about it. I mean, all my tabletops, all my bunker reviews, I talk about this, have for years. So there's a ton of information out there. It's up to you, dude.
You'll just be finding out why the military swapped over to the M16 in the first place. You're like, man, these mags are kind of heavy.
Right. From the M14, dude.
I wish I could carry more than 20 rounds. That would be... Maybe they should make this gun... Oh, what if it were a smaller caliber? Mm-hmm. Then you could have like 30 rounds in it. Oh, wait a minute.
What if you're running neighborhood checkpoints? Do you want to be standing around all day with a 10-pound AR-10 on your shoulder? I don't. Try it. Try it. I mean, our running guns in the desert, they are very illuminating, right? Soldier Boy, very illuminating. And that's simple. That's not under stress. You're not getting shot back at. You add in other stuff, all the other mission support materials, body armor, water. I mean, guys in Afghanistan, they come back and they've been trucking around with a 90, 100-pound pack and they go, it sucks. So I would put it right there, probably around number 6 in AR-10.
In one thing, I may be weird for thinking about it, but if I'm designed to my defensive system, I'm not only planning for me and my capabilities.
Right.
If I have a couple long arms in inventory and I have trustworthy people around, if we're doing neighborhood watch type of stuff, we go, all right, we're going to just be collective. Everyone's going to help out. We're going to patrol. I would much rather give a 5.56 AR to somebody as opposed to a 308 because most assume they haven't shot that much. You get them trained on 22s. I'm going to count on them not hitting too often. So I'd rather them have more ammo, which weighs less. Just pack it up. Easier to shoot. It's just there are
really
all these reasons we went to 5.56 for the military, and all of them are good ones.
And for the same amount of money, are you going to buy more rounds of 5.56 or 308?
So much more 5.56.
5.56? And I forgot to mention that. It's a really good point. So when we talked about more depth, kind of moving back a little bit, so you might get some loaner guns for other people. I wouldn't necessarily go out and buy another AR for them. No, but you get a Mosin and a Gaunt. Something surplus, something really inexpensive that you have in your inventory to give loaner guns. You don't need a ton, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe none. It's up to you. It just depends. But sure enough, there'll be people that will be unarmed, and you could use it as a force multiplier because you're ready to go. So Mosin and Gaunt with 100 rounds, that's something. It's something. It's better than nothing. Or maybe it's a hand-me-down gun, and you're not really concerned with your castaway guns per se as being part of your system. They're kind of their own thing, so you don't have to go out and say, "Oh, Mosin and Gaunt." Now Mosin and Gaunt. No.
So when you give it to Todd and he drops it on the front sight, he doesn't give it back to you, and you're like, "Dude, that was my super long range bolt gun. That cost me $9,000."
This is not a loaner. Hey, here you go. Here's your nailer 6.5 Creed. Here's 200 rounds, and this is how you use it. This is. Most of these are very technical on how to employ them properly. In fact, most of them are. And you just got to be practiced. You got to know how to run it. And the more simple you can make it as a castaway gun, the better.
Hey, what is that thing? I tried to load it with 308 and it didn't. It kind of is a little messed up.
Then you take the magazine out and you realize they've loaded it completely backwards, which is totally jacked up. Totally jacked up. Moving to set number 7. This is fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Good times, good times. Number 7 is, going down the list.
Nambu.
Kind of.
Walther P38.
Fun guns.
There we go.
Fun guns.
Of which the Nambu is not one.
Well, it could be. And actually, I want to throw in number 8 right now because they're kind of similar. You want me to do that?
Yeah, there's a lot
number
of Number
7 and number 8 is collectible guns. There you go. So there's your Nambu. There's your Arasaka. This is kind of the last to go. Now, remember what we said at the outset, that if you're a second cool guy, you shoot recreationally, you're a collector, your focus really isn't on self-defense. You don't give a crap about without rule of law. You don't give a crap about being prepared. You could reverse this list. You understand what we're saying now? So now your first priority would go out and get an Arasaka. Would go out and get... Do we have anything collectible?
We don't.
Oh, we didn't bring it in, did we?
We're
rolling a photo or something.
I wanted to bring my Grand because that's such a good...
I'll roll in footage. We've shot that thing so much.
Let's say you want more collectability, you want more enthusiasm, and maybe 20% defensive capability. The Grand is awesome.
Awesome.
It is so capable for being a World War II freaking collectible, awesome classic American firearm.
Second cool to the hilt. It makes you happy. It's a powerful cartridge. Could you make that your number 3? Like we said, AR-15. Could you put in an M1 Grand? Yeah, you could. I said that in the tabletop. But you're making a system, you're basing your system on a World War II technology, slow to reload, less rounds, blah, blah, blah. All that. If you're good with it, sure, it's your decision. For us, how we did it in our own timeline, historically, is we added Garands, M1903s, Infields, all the stuff we've bought and sold over the years last. Or were they fun for us? Absolutely. The guns we were fondling last night were Garands. Was an M1903 Mark I built in 1918. Do you have it? Oh, he's got it. Awesome. So this is a gun we were fondling last night. We just scored this one. We sold 2 guns. We end up getting this second cool all day long. It's so fun. I spent, no kidding, 4 hours cleaning this gun, decosmolining it, and look at this machine.
This is an A3?
That's not the Mark I then, is it? Well, whatever. This is still a good representation. So here's an M1903, A3. Beautiful, beautiful gun. Straight line stock, 30-06, smooth, controlled round feeding. Maybe one of the best, if not the best, bolt-action gun ever fielded in World War II. For that matter, World War I.
Yeah.
There you go. Fun gun? Absolutely. Do I want to base my defensive system on this gun? No. I do not. But it's collectible. Will it go up in value? Yes. Assuming we keep it in good condition, that we'll get more out of this gun when we sell it if we're ever stupid enough to sell it. What you're going to see, by the way, with all these World War II guns is no one's going to sell them until someone dies.
Yeah.
Do you think that's correct to say?
That's how we've gotten pretty much all ours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these have come out of estate sales.
Yep. Estate sales and kids that aren't really firearms enthusiasts going through granddad's things and I don't know what this is. Here, you want to buy this? And they take them to a gun shop and offload them for nothing.
So we're kind of kid along all the way through. So it could be an airsock, it could be whatever, maybe a M48, a K98, a Yugo 2447.
Which are great.
Maybe some rare versions of the Mosin Nagant. There's a plethora of really awesome guns. That's just in the World War II vein. But let's go to something that's been sitting behind us the whole time. What do we got up here?
Check that out.
Little pistol caliber carbine right here. What do I say in my reviews when I review a PCC? Do I say for us it's a go-to-war option? What do you mean, man? You want to go to war with this thing?
I wouldn't prefer. I would, and it's capable.
There are certain niches that it will perform well in, and we do say that. Not for us. Your mileage may vary. Maybe for you, your 9mm, it's the only gun you shoot well. I don't know. It just depends. But for us, this is a fun gun. I think for most people, it's a fun gun. And what do you know? It's a project gun for us as well. So now we got an SBA 3 on the back of it and end of mods. That's all I did to this one. Left the trigger same. Rocking the same Bushnell TRS 25 we put on it for the review many years ago. But this is not our go-to gun for defensive purposes.
It's a tester.
Not that it couldn't serve within 50 yards. Absolutely. I mean, it's good. But like I've said, I'd rather have a 7.62 39. I'd rather have a 5.56 for all the reasons said. So the fun gun and collectible philosophy of use are, it could be a wide variety of guns. Go ahead.
One caveat to the PCC thing.
Yeah.
Let's say you're the poor college student. You're trying to do all the bases as cheaply as possible.
Okay.
You've bought a Glock 19. That was number one.
I like this,
Now you want
actually.
something that's a little bit longer range. What do you buy? It starts with S and rhymes with UB 2000 because you can use the same mags all through there. So now the
That's
33
a really
rounders you
good
have
point.
for your sub 2K, you have for this. And the sub 2K, by the way, rules. It is
rules.
awesome.
The
You
second gen sub 2K,
fold
third
it
gen.
up, hide it, throw it in a backpack. You can stow it. You can travel with it. It's just such a great gun.
Yeah, he puts his in his Napoleon Dynamite lunchbox, and no one even knows it's there.
No one sees it.
It's like, dude, it's like so concealable. Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Very affordable.
Yeah, so does it have to be an AR-15? No. I like the fact that example you give, the guy has thought it out. It's
Yeah.
like, system-wise, this works for me. Later on, I'll get an AR-15 when I'm out of the college dorm or wherever, living with grandma, whatever. And then collecting last. We've been talking about it the whole time. Guns to collect. There you go. That's what we think.
And I think collecting is... I think a lot of us use the preparedness and the defensive stuff as an excuse. But really what we're doing is collecting underneath it all.
That is absolute truth.
And we find different niches. I really
Right.
want to do
Right.
an
Right.
A3 build.
Right.
I got to have it that way.
That's
you know,
right.
It's
Could not
effective.
agree more. That when it gets down to it, this is a hobby. We enjoy doing it. Hopefully, we'll never have to employ it like we're talking about. It's the percentage of you actually having to do it is so infinitesimal, it's probably not even registerable. I like that. So you're basically collecting all along. But if you're the man of the house, it is your job, it is your duty to protect your family. Your wife, assuming you're married, your kids. And I'm just talking about my own situation because he's my kid. Been married 31 years now. That's what I did. I'm just giving you my approach and my opinion. Actually, at this point, his opinion too.
And that's most of the people I know. Like, I don't really know any women that are too into shooting.
Not really. There's a couple.
I know they're out there.
If they're into shooting, if they're into this stuff we're talking about, it's usually they had a really, really awesome dad who is an influencer in their lives. Yeah. So hopefully all this will be just for fun, just for collecting. So to review, ready? Here we go. We're going to rip through this and we're going to wrap it up in this feature length, maybe 1 part, maybe 2 part. I don't know, and I don't really care. Number 1, 22 pistol. Number 2, 9mm pistol, preferably semi-automatic, obviously. Number 3, AR-15. Let me try that again. Number 3, AR-15.
AR-15.
And then we take a side out and then we get more ammo, maybe a couple basic accessories. Number 4,
Nambu.
Shotgun. Not Nambu, shotgun. Number 5, more depth. Maybe some loaner guns. We call them castaways here in the bunker for whatever reason. And then we can go and start really doing some mods that give us more mission capabilities. Number 6, is that 6? Long range. Number 7, fun. Number 8, collectible. That's the order we see it. We're in the bunker. Nutnfancy project. Last words to eat.
Oh, I forgot to say, if you do have your M&P Sport, the cheapest way to add a light to it is what we did with the Bushmaster back in the day, where you just drill in the little section of rail and then use that.
There's a lot of really inexpensive, smart ways to mod your guns. You don't have to dial it into something to be tactical. And like he said, that's what I did all along. It was just like, hey, does this work? Yes. A great way to know if it works is go back in the history of battle, like World War II, and look what the guys were using. They were using canvas slings. They were carrying all their ammo in a canvas bandolier, and it worked. Was it perfect? No. No. And even in modern day, I mean, I was watching a video of dudes in Afghanistan, and they had their slings just tied on. And they just didn't care. And they're running like 6-position stocks, A2 pistol grips. And I watched like a 2-hour video and I didn't hear any complaints like, oh, this grip sucks.
Yeah.
No, it's just us and our collectability and our preferences, which is A-okay. But do you need them to make your weapon more capable? That's a question you need to ask yourself, and the answer is no, you do not.
This grip sucks. I need more battery storage.
Keep it light, keep it fast, keep it real, and keep it high value, says us. So those are the top 8 priorities you should have when you're buying guns. Hope you liked it. We're in the bunker. It is warmed up to a balmy 47 degrees while we're here. I do like it cold. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subbing. Thanks for Patreon. Make sure you click that notification bell. This is Lieutenant Colonel Nutnfancy signing off with my beloved son, TD. See you later.